Hey, what's up, guys? Hello. Okay, so this video is mostly for my friends and family. So this is an update on what I'm like, what hobby or what I'm following these days. Okay, I think I should hold it in right hand. Damn, I'm getting fat. Yeah, so I'll discuss what all books I'm reading these days, what podcast I'm watching, and what coffee I'm drinking. So the last video I made an year ago was on coffee I was drinking. So yeah, this is the place where I stay in Bangalore. Uh, as you can see, there is a protein powder there. So we started going gym, and this is the setup for today. That Mac is to hold the mobile straight. That is not flexing. Okay, cool. So I have coffee with me, and this is a blue Tokai coffee. I'll sit down and we'll start. I'll keep the mobile here like this. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, so yeah, I'm drinking this coffee. I already had one coffee today, so that is why this coffee is very, I don't know, light. Okay, I mostly drink black coffee in morning, and this is blue Tokai and Indian coffee farmers. Okay, chocolatey and nutty. So I have tried a lot of flavors from them. This is dark chocolate, figs, and roasted almonds. I think the previous one I tried had tagline bold and bitter, and I also tried one more with I think French Atikan something. It was its name. This is Atikan's estate, and that was silver oak something. I forgot about it. Sorry. So yeah, these are fresh ground coffee beans. So that is good. Let me place the camera a bit good. I've been working out. I just started going gym again. Okay. So we'll go about the books I've been reading. So first book, 1984, George Orwell. I think this is a must read for everyone. Uh, this is a very good book. I think one of the most influential book, or it is very fun book. I would say uh, I I'm like new to describing books, so you should watch. This guy also wrote Animal Farm, and it is a very good book in terms of you can find the resemblance in current political scenario of this thought police and all of those things. It is a very good book, very good story. I just bought this book yesterday. I haven't read it. I kinda know from watching a lot of content on this. There has been a movie too. I got it from local store for 50 rupees. I'll read this. So, what should I do? Should I keep start keeping them like this? And I won't come. Okay, so if you see water on my shirt, that is because I just washed my face. I didn't took a bath for this video. I am becoming Peter Griffin day by day. So this is the book. Okay. So I got this Penguin Classic, but it is a fake print. So you don't see the difference in color in this, but it is the pirated one. But I'll read this book. So how my collection work is like I've already bought a lot of books which I haven't read, and I'll read them one by one. So how I treat reading book is watching shows, like different shows at a time. So I'll read like 10 pages, 20 pages on weekdays, and I might go to 25, 50 pages on weekends, because I have a day job and I also study and prepare for exams. For those who don't know, I am a software developer. I was an iOS developer, firmware developer. Now I'm doing backend stuff in a startup, backend and React Native and React. Fyodor Dostoevsky. So Dostoevsky is, like, everybody knows. Like, he is one of the guys you would always find in classic literature. So I, from how I discovered him was from his quote from the book The Idiot, Beauty Will Save the World, and I saw a lot of YouTube videos on it. Ki how like what does it mean, and his story, like if you guys like would read the first few pages of this book, there are like there is a story about him, how his life went. It is a very interesting story. I won't spoil it for anyone, even the story of the writer as well. So I got this recommend. I got the idea of reading this book from a YouTube channel called Chal Chitra Talks or Kitabi Cabins. I don't know. They have multiple channels. So there is one guy, Vaibhav, Charu, and all people. So I might get a time to read this book someday. In this year, I'll read it in 2024 because I have to study also a lot. Okay. Then you might have seen the tattoo here. This is, I would say, like I've heard, like I've been through the whole audiobook of this book. I've read this book, and this book helped me a lot. It is a satire book. You can find a lot of things, and I don't want to go deep in how it helped me in life, but it had a very profound impact on my life. So that is why Cervantes, Don Quixote, and I've like heard like this was the beginning of the literature from where a hero and his sidekick kind of thing came out, like Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson and Batman, Robin, a lot of things. So I always go to this thing, talks where people are talking about what influence this had. But honestly, this was a hard read. I think the Count of Monte Cristo is a better, you can compare, like if you want to read fast, and if you want a page turner, because this is a hard book to read. If you want a page turner, then go for the Count of Monte Cristo, and after that you can go for this. It is a hard read. I read the abridged version of this, and I have been through audiobooks of it. So this book I hadn't read. I'll read it. I read it some of the chapters I read sometimes. So yeah, this is in a very good state. And this is the original Penguin, this thing, publication or printing. This is of a very good quality, and Demons, I got the pirated one. It does not matter. So you should read this. Everyone is reading this in the subreddit of Indian books, and it is like I don't know, 80 pages. I read it in 2 nights when I was attending my friend at hospital. Very good book. What people describe him as is like Kafkaesque. There is a thing called Kafkaesque. I still have to read more of his work. Earlier, I used to think Kafka on the Shore is written by this guy, but no, Okay, so this book, Sapiens, I've read like 25% of it, and I've also got to know that there is a graphical version of it, which is very good. So one should read. Like if you are a new reader, you should go. If you can afford, you should buy the graphical version. And there is one more book of his, Harari, called Homo Deus. I haven't read this book. Have read it, so this helped me a lot. I even So what I do is like I draw it. I write a lot of things in pencil on the books I read. So to increase my vocab and the things. So mostly some of the English I won't know. Mostly in like Don Quixote or Dostoevsky. There is a lot of English words which I won't know. So I would like search them up, and I'll write the meaning of them. So yeah, do it today. It is a good book. There is one more book called Hyper Focus, and there are a ton of self-help books. Okay, so this is Do It Today. Crime and Punishment. I started reading it, so I'm into 10% of it. It is a hard read, but I enjoyed what I read, and I still have to finish, so I cannot give any verdict or how I feel about it. I just bought because it was a Dostoevsky book, and I wanted it to be with me for some time, for some days when I want to read it. Not a flex. I know this is not the best translation of Meditations. I think there are better translation, but this is the one I got on Blinkit. I've also made notes in this. I love this book. So yeah, this is a book which you can read your whole life again and again. There is a lot to be learned from this book. Okay, and I got a hardcover of this book. I know there is a second part to this. A single book can change your life. This is a very good book, especially the drama kind of thing, like dialogues between the philosopher and that young man. I loved this book. So I think this is based on the Aldrilian psychology. Like there are three people, I think Freud, Jung, and this third guy. I loved the book. This is a very good book. If you like to read things like this, you can have this book. And comes the Naval Ravikant. This guy I even watched. So how I discovered him was through his Twitter, like Twitter threads. So this is basically a compilation of his Twitter thread, and more it is explained in more detail, summarized better. So this is a very good book, especially if you are in tech, entrepreneurial space. How to be happy, how to make wealth, how to leverage resources, time, how health is important. So one thing which I was ignoring in my life was my health. So this book and Naval Ravikant and a lot more books, they asked me to focus on my health, which is the most important thing. And yeah, this is a book. So I watched a podcast. I think Richa Chadda was in it. So I read this book. I am expecting a lot of grief to be in it. So I'm a bit scared to read it. But this is the only Hindi book I have with me right now. So when I was in, I think, high school, there used to be books called Gad Sankalan and Ekanki Suman. So yeah, they had very good stories and drama, like theater stuff. So yeah, I'm expecting something similar because I used to love those Hindi stories, and I want to read more Hindi work. Obviously, I've read Premchand a lot. So, one thing which I would like to start is, so especially now that I don't have a lot of time, I have a full time job and then I study too. I want to buy short stories collection, poems. So I used to memorize a lot of poems. So Ramdhari Dinkar, Kumar Viswas, and Gulzar, so Shairi and all. So I love that stuff too. So this is not my book. This is my roommate's book, and I read like half of it. It is a good book. I think this guy was at point CEO or something of. He is a CEO in Snowflake now. I don't know what that company does, but he is. I think he was CEO of GitHub too. No, not GitHub. I think GitHub was that famous guy who invests a lot. Nat Friedman, yeah, Nat Friedman was the. So yeah, and this is related to my work. This book. It will take a lot of time to read. I am not reading this. This is to my roommate's book. Uh, yeah, he's reading this. I've read like some part of it. I don't understand a lot. So, yeah, if I want to show a whole collection, okay, it should not topple, else it would break my computer. I think I should remove these two books. These are not mine. I try to get a thumbnail. So yeah, talking about podcast, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. The only podcast I listen to is on YouTube. I don't have Prime subscription and all of those things. I had Audible, I listened to Lex Friedman, only Lex Friedman. Mostly, I discovered him very early on. I think 2018 or something when he was teaching deep learning. Now he does great stuff. He asks good question, and obviously Joe Rogan. uh, hmm. So yeah, that's it. Adios.